Are you thinking about purchasing a pair of Levi's denim shorts but have no idea which style to go for? If so, this video is for you. As you can see, I've picked up every single style of Levi's denim shorts that I could get my hands on in my size, and together we're going to try them all on, talk about the sizing, the fit, the different lengths and silhouettes, and figure out which are the most flattering, especially if you are slightly petite and curvy like me. So hopefully by the end of this video you'll have a much better idea of which pair is actually worth you ordering. For reference, I'm 5'4" and I usually wear between a UK 10 and 12, and in Levi's my waist is a waist 27, and of course I will link all the pairs that we tried down below. Okay, so here we have the Levi's 94 baggy shorts, and these are in a beautiful mid blue wash, which is just timeless and classic. The shape of these I love. They're really structured, but they also feel quite relaxed at the same time. The denim is quite lightweight and it does have a bit of stretch to it. They fit really nice and snug at the waist, and then they go down into this nice open leg, which is giving a slightly A-line sort of fit, which I really like and think is really flattering. So if you like shorts that don't cling to your legs, these ones are definitely a really good contender in that regard. Now they're a mid-thigh length, which I love just because I think that is always the most flattering on me, because they really just elongate your legs. They're definitely giving that Levi's effortless vintage look, which I really like. I would definitely say if you're like me, slightly petite, slightly curvy and wanting a mid-length, these are definitely a great option. The only thing I would say is that they are really nice and snug in the waist and look really flattering. In the back, there is slightly a little bit of gaping, which obviously is just a bit of a reoccurring theme when you are slightly curvy, because you do need them slightly wider to be able to get them over your hips. But then once they're over your hips, you don't necessarily want that extra room in the waist. Even though they have got that little gape in the back, I would say that they still look really nice in the bum. Levi's always gives you the most perfect pocket placement. So yeah, I absolutely love the Levi's 94 baggy, and they definitely are going to be a contender. So here we have the cinch mid-thigh shorts. Again, they are in a really nice classic mid-blue wash. Again, the denim feels quite lightweight, soft and relaxed, although it does hold its structure really nicely. They are a high-waisted pair again, but the main feature of these ones is that you can cinch the waist in. So they've got this little popper detail at the side that you can undo and tighten by one popper, which I think if you did it on both sides would probably take them in about an inch, which is a really fantastic feature to have, especially if you're someone like me that does struggle with having that gaping in the back of your waist. So right now I'm just showing them to you with them on the loosest setting, but in a minute I'll show you them on the tighter setting. Now, although these ones are a mid-thigh length, they sit a lot higher on my thighs, which I find a lot less flattering just because they sit at the widest part of my thigh. I always like a short to come slightly lower than the widest part of my thigh, just because that's what gives you that really nice lengthening sort of silhouette. However, I do really like that they still skim my hips really nicely and do come out at the leg opening rather than clinging to my thighs. In terms of fit, again, these are a 27 waist and they fit really quite nicely around my waist. There isn't really much of a waist gap as it is with them on the looser setting. They fit really nicely in the hips as well. They just skim over, and I think they do look really nice in the bum. Now I'm just going to show you them cinched in slightly. So as you can see, you've just got a little popper there, which is fairly tough to undo. So that's just tightened it slightly there. And then we'll do the other side. Okay, so that's them cinched in. And now they do feel quite a bit tighter at the hips. Obviously, as I said, they're quite a lightweight denim that I think has a little bit of stretch in them, so it's still fine, they're still comfy. Although there was only a tiny little gap in the back to start with, that is like completely gone. They are like really tight now. You can just about pull them away from my back. It just makes so much sense to me doing that, because it just gets you around that issue of like being able to get them over your hips and then still being able to tighten them in the waist. Oh, I wish they put that on all their pairs, because the 94s, if they had this, that would be like chef's kiss. Yeah, I think they are fantastic. I just want them a tiny bit longer for me, just because, as I said, I like them to cover the widest part of my leg. But if you are in the market for a pair that are a slightly shorter mid-thigh length and you tend to struggle with that gaping issue, these will be perfect for you. Here we have the Levi's 501 mid-thigh length shorts. I think these are going to probably be quite popular for a lot of people, just because the 501s are the classic, and I feel like they are always the most popular, the most in-demand style of Levi's. Again, they're in a very classic mid-blue wash, very timeless, easy to style. The structure of these ones, again, they feel very lightweight and very much like a stretch denim. They've got a lot of give in them, which I think is really nice, just because they are quite a comfy pair. These again are in a high-waisted fit. They come just over my belly button. I feel like the other two pairs sat just below my belly button. These ones are a bit over. Pair fits really beautifully around the waist. The fit is perfect. They're again a 27 waist, absolutely perfect. There isn't even like any gaping going on in the back. A bit more like the cinched pair when they were cinched. There's no like looseness to the waist at all, which is fantastic. Now these ones definitely cling to my thighs a little bit more. They sit really perfectly just like in the middle of my thigh, which I think is a really nice place to finish. I think they look really nice in the bum. I think they look really flattering. I usually like a style like this on myself, but I do actually think these are a very flattering pair. Obviously, if you are looking for something a little bit looser like how I am, these won't be the ones for you, but if you are looking for that classic 501 straight leg, then these are going to be absolutely perfect. Here are the Levi's high-waisted mum shorts. Now these ones are in a much lighter wash. They are very high-waisted, just about like an inch above my belly button, and they are quite compact. They feel like they're kind of holding you in a little bit, which I quite like. As they are a mum fit, they are slightly more fitted around the leg. They don't really go out as much. They more so just sort of skim my thighs. And then as you can see, they are a much shorter pair. So this pair to me is definitely a bit more of like a short. It's not really a style that I would tend to gravitate to personally, but I really wanted to obviously include them because I feel like this is going to be a really popular summer pair. Again, for me, it's just that I really do feel more confident in a short that covers that little widest part of my leg, but that is just personal preference for me. If you are wanting a short pair, I would say these are absolutely perfect because the fit of them is really nice. This particular pair is quite distressed, but I do think you can get this exact same pair in a different colorway that might not have the distressing on it. So as I've said, they finish quite high on my thighs. I am 5'4", so if you're any taller than me, they are going to look a little bit shorter. If you're shorter than me, obviously they're going to look a bit longer. I'm obviously just wearing them in a 27 waist, and I do think the fit of them is absolutely perfect. They fit really nicely around the waist. There isn't much gaping going on at the back at all. So yeah, if you were in the market for a slightly shorter pair, then this could definitely be the perfect pair for you. Here we have the Levi's high-rise baggy short. This pair I actually already own. I have these in a size 28 waist, and I bought them about 2 years ago, and since then I've lost a little bit of weight, so wanted to size down in them to a 27, and that's what set off this whole order, as me wanting to explore the rest of the Levi's denim short range. I've literally lived in them throughout the summer. I very much love this pair, as you can already tell, so I'm really interested to see if any of the other pairs that I'm showing compete with these for me personally. They are a much lighter wash. They are a really light blue, which is just perfect for summer. They are high-waisted. They sit just above my belly button, just like slightly. And in terms of the waist, they fit really nice and snug. So that's exactly what I'm looking for in the waist, is for them to be super snug. In terms of the style of these ones, they just skim over my hips, I think, really beautifully. What I would call A-line, like they really do pull out away from the thighs, which I really like because I just think that is always the most flattering fit on me. It completely skims over that little bit of my thigh that comes out and is a little bit wider at the top, and it just gives that really nice elongated silhouette. Where they are a bit looser, they aren't like the most flattering, like gonna make your bum look absolutely amazing type of shorts. They are just loose and just like graze over your bum, but this is just the style that I really like for shorts. So if you are like me and you like a high-waisted short that isn't tight around the thighs, and you sometimes struggle with getting denim that doesn't gape around the waist, then this pair is going to be perfect for you. You're going to absolutely love them. I'm wondering if I should even actually show you how my 28s fit, just so you can see a little bit of a comparison. These are my own pair that I've had for the last couple of years. So these are in a size 28, and I just wanted to show you them just for reference as to like the difference between just one size. As you can see, that is like a full inch. So I hope that just helps you with sizing. These are the Levi's Midy jorts, and this is my first time ever trying on a pair of jorts. I never really knew what I thought of them and what they would look like on me. I feel like I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. As you can see, they are in a really nice light wash again for the summer. They are a high rise, but they sit just below my belly button. In terms of the structure of them, they are quite a rigid denim. Definitely got some stiffness to them. Definitely not like the most lightweight pair that we've tried. They are fairly fitted around the waist. There is a little bit of gaping going on at the back. They skim really nicely over my hips, and then they are quite a relaxed sort of loose fit. Loose but still very structured. But yeah, I think where they cut off just above my knee isn't necessarily the most flattering on me in terms of like adding any kind of length onto my petite curvy frame, but I do feel like with the right styling, this pair could actually look really cool on me. So again, I wouldn't say that they're like the most flattering in the bum, where they are quite like a loose fit. They do literally just drop straight down kind of from your bum, so they're not like the most flattering, like gonna make your bum look really nice and juicy or anything like that, but they do look quite nice. But yeah, I think if you are in the market for a pair of jorts and you like them to kind of feel like they're just skimming over your legs, not super baggy, this could be the perfect pair for you. I got these in a size 27, and I think the fit in the waist is a little bit roomy, so I feel like I may have been able to get away with a 26, although they then might look a bit like drain pipes on my legs, I'm not sure. So yeah, I think this is a really cool pair, and they obviously are very trendy. But yeah, for me, the gap in the back of the waist kind of puts me off because it's just a bit too big. Obviously, if you loved them, then you could just get that taken in quite easily. It's a shame they don't have the little waist cinches on them, honestly. Yeah, or you could just wear them with a belt. Here we have the Levi's Baggy Dad jorts. Now this pair is in a slightly warmer light wash, incredibly lightweight and incredibly stretchy, which means they do flow really nicely and they're just very comfy and will be perfect even on a hot summer's day. They're high-waisted, they fit just on my belly button, skim over my hips really nicely, and then they are meant to be like a really baggy fit, so they are quite loose in the legs, loose and flowy, very roomy even on the inside of my legs, whereas some of the other pairs we've tried have just been a little bit more roomy on the outside of the legs. They finish just above my knees. Again, isn't the most like naturally leg lengthening, but I don't feel like if you're shopping for jorts, that's really where your head's going to be at anyway. I feel like you would just have to work out other ways to make your legs look a bit longer, like some platform sandals or something. So yeah, I've just got them in a size 27 on the waist again. They do fit really nicely, but in the waist, I would just say there's just gaping going on around the back of my waist, which probably isn't as noticeable as on the Midy jorts. I just wish they had the little cincher on the sides. In the bum, I think they also fit quite nicely. But yeah, I think I like the way these ones come away from your legs a bit more. If you don't really struggle with that gaping, then these might be the perfect pair for you, just because they do start at a really nice point at the hips. You like the extra bagginess in the legs, because I think that just adds to that overall cool jorts effect. Right, so those are all the styles that I have to share with you today. So for me, the definite winners are the high-rise baggy. They're obviously the pair that I already own. I do just love how they fit in the waist, and I love that they just come out really nicely and fit really casual in the leg as well. And then I would say that the runners-up would have to be the mid-thigh cinched waist pair. I love those. I think that is such a genius feature, to be able to adjust the waistband yourself. I just wish they were a tiny little bit longer. And then I want to give an honourable mention also to the 94 baggies, just because I think they are a gorgeous pair of shorts. I really love the look of those in the leg. They were just a little bit too gapey in the back of the waist for me though, unfortunately. Anyway, I really hope you found this video useful and that it's helped you with your decision making. If you have enjoyed it, please do subscribe, as I'll be uploading a lot more videos like this one. Bye.